So, imagine you're in a massive sports bar. It's like the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, and 100 people are screaming at a wall of perfectly synchronized
Oh,
TVs.
yeah. The energy in those places is
Right.
intense.
Now imagine the server running all those screens just, crashes. Total chaos.
Yeah, that would be an absolute disaster.
Exactly. Well, today we are looking at the invisible tech designed to make sure that absolute nightmare never happens. Welcome to your custom deep dive. Our mission today is unpacking the Vitec AVSRV-C1565 hardware platform.
Right, which is basically the bulletproof beating heart of an enterprise IPTV system. That's how you blast high-definition video over a computer network to hundreds of screens at once without a single hiccup.
Okay, let's unpack this hardware because, the specs look like a wish list for pure paranoia.
Yeah.
Physically, it's a 1U rack-mountable chassis, so it looks like a heavy, high-tech pizza box that just slides right into a standard server rack.
Yeah, a very expensive pizza box.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But inside, it packs up to 24 terabytes of RAID 10 storage.
And that RAID 10 part is crucial. It doesn't just passively store the video, it constantly mirrors the data across 4 hot swap SATA drives, meaning if one of those hard drives physically dies right in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Which is always when it happens, right?
Oh, always. But the backup takes over instantly. The video doesn't even stutter. You literally just pull the dead drive out and slide a new one in while the machine is still running.
That's wild. It also runs on dual redundant power supplies, which means it can be plugged into 2 entirely separate power grids simultaneously. So if one grid goes dark, the server doesn't even blink. It just keeps pumping data out of its 1 gigabit ports.
It is a serious amount of resilience. But what's fascinating here is the hidden catch. Despite all that physical hardware muscle, if you just buy the box, it's virtually a brick.
Wait, really? My initial reaction to that is actually kind of frustration.
Right.
If I'm buying this heavy-duty hardware, why are they locking its basic functionality behind a paywall?
I know, it sounds crazy, but it's almost entirely locked. To actually make it route video, you are required to purchase specific software modules separately. Things like the M8105 or the M7205.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and on top of that, you have to buy an optional bandwidth limit of 110, 220, or 550 megabits per second.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. That feels like buying a high-end sports car chassis, but like having to lease the steering wheel and your top speed limit separately. Why would any business agree to being nickel and dimed like that?
It definitely sounds restrictive at first glance, I agree. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of modularity is actually the secret to enterprise scalability. A business only pays for the exact software and bandwidth they need right now.
Oh, I see the logic. So when they expand next year and add 50 more TVs to the bar, they don't even have to touch the physical hardware.
Exactly. They just pay for a new software license to unlock more speed or capability. They don't have to go into the server room, rip out the old machine, and buy a whole new server. The physical box already has the headroom built in.
So hardware is bulletproof, and the software is infinitely modular. But, someone still has to actually wire this beast into the server room and deal with the vendor. And looking at buyer reviews from HDTV Supply, people generally love the setup.
Yeah, that's a massive relief when you're dealing with mission-critical enterprise gear.
For sure, like Steve J praised the price point and Samuel S. enthusiastically called it the best. But there's this funny reality check from a buyer named John M. He pointed out that the customer service staff was, quote, less than friendly, even though they did eventually answer his setup questions.
That really highlights an irony in this industry, doesn't it? We can engineer flawless, dual-redundant, hot-swappable digital perfection, but to get it running, you still have to navigate grumpy human customer service.
It's so true. So what does this all mean for you listening?
Well, I think the next time you sit back with a drink and marvel at a perfectly synchronized video wall, you'll know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. You'll picture those mirrored hard drives and that modular software sweating it out in a server closet to keep the image perfect.
And perhaps it leaves you with something a bit deeper to consider. As these massive enterprise systems rely increasingly on separate licensed software modules just to function, will physical hardware eventually become entirely irrelevant?
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. Like, are we moving toward a future where a server is just a generic empty shell, simply waiting for the cloud to tell it what to do?